This is without a doubt the single most important investing book of the last decade. Seriously, it's probably created more millionaires than Dave Ramsey, Jim Cramer, and the entire CNBC lineup combined. But, and this is a huge but, if you live in Canada and you follow the advice in Chapter 10, you're not building wealth. You heard me right. You are literally setting your money on fire. Okay, so let's get right into this. The book is The Simple Path to Wealth, and J.L. Collins wrote this masterpiece for Americans. And let's be super clear here. The psychology he teaches is universal. It is absolutely flawless. It gives you the critical mindset of ignoring market noise, of saving a huge chunk of your income and focusing on the long term. But the tools he recommends, the specific mechanics of what to buy, well, those are genuinely dangerous if you try to use them north of the border. It's a simple fact. The IRS in the United States and our own Canada Revenue Agency, the CRA, they just do not see these things the same way. The plumbing of our financial systems is fundamentally different. So, what happens if you just blindly follow the book's advice? Or maybe advice from a US-based YouTuber telling you to go buy a fund like VTSAX inside your tax-free savings account, your TFSA. Well, you are volunteering for something I call a tax drag. And just think about how we define it here. You are voluntarily donating 15% of all your dividends to a foreign government that, in return, gives you absolutely nothing. No roads, no healthcare, not a thing. This isn't some small rounding error, folks. This is a slow, steady leak that will drain tens of thousands of dollars from your portfolio over your lifetime. Look, wealth is always built on universal principles, but it absolutely demands regional execution. So, today we're doing a full Canadian reconstruction of the simple path. We are going to build a Canadian blueprint, and we're going to cover 4 specific areas. 1. The debt trap. We'll get into why the Canadian mortgage reality makes the American strategy a huge gamble. 2. The tax leak. I'll show you the exact math of what buying the wrong fund costs you, and more importantly, the specific Canadian ticker that fixes it. 3. The cash wedge. Why the old school bond tent is a total failure in our current market. And 4. The withdrawal order. How to actually get your money out in retirement without triggering a devastating government clawback. Now, before we dive into the math, I want to be perfectly clear. I still want you to buy this book. You have to buy it for the mindset. Chapter 2 alone, which is all about dealing with market fear, is worth the price of admission. It will give you the psychological armor you need to stop yourself from hitting the panic button when the market inevitably takes a nosedive. But for the actual mechanics of what to buy, put the book down and let's focus on the screen. All right, let's get into our first section and see how this all connects. J.L. Collins starts with a simple, powerful rule. Debt is the only thing that can kill you. And while that is 100% true, in the United States, that advice has a very different flavor because of a financial tool that, for most of us here in Canada, just doesn't exist in the same way. And this slide right here perfectly illustrates that core difference. In the US, they have the legendary 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. If an American locks in a mortgage at, say, 3%, and then inflation suddenly goes nuts and spikes to 8%, it's the bank that's losing money. The homeowner is actually winning. Their debt is being actively eaten away by inflation. So for them, holding that debt as long as possible is a smart financial move. In Canada, you do not have that luxury. We operate on a 5-year renewal cycle. And what this really means is that all of the interest rate risk gets passed directly from the bank onto you, the homeowner, every single 60 months. We all just watched this nightmare scenario play out in real time. Families who were comfortable at 2% suddenly faced renewals at 5 or 6%, and their monthly payments doubled, sometimes literally overnight. So here's the deal. You simply cannot afford to carry high-interest consumer debt in a country where your single biggest expense, your shelter, is so volatile. So, here is the official Canadian modification for your financial foundation. Before you invest a single penny in the stock market, you must follow this exact order. Rule number 1. Kill all consumer debt. I mean, all of it. Credit cards, car loans, those buy now, pay later schemes, they have to be at 0. You can't win by earning 7% in the market while you're paying 20% to Visa. The math just doesn't work. Rule number 2. Build a 6-month liquidity buffer. Collins suggests a pretty minimal cash cushion. In Canada, because of our unique renewal risk, you need a robust 6-month cash buffer. This is what protects you from a disaster where you lose your job in the same month your mortgage renews at a way higher rate. And only then, only when those first 2 boxes are checked, do you move to rule number 3. Invest the surplus. You've earned the right to buy equities. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's talk about the God Fund. This is the core engine of the book. Collins champions VTSAX, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. He calls it owning the haystack. The idea is brilliant. You buy every single public company in America, from Apple all the way down to the tiniest little microcap. That way, you're guaranteed to own all the future winners. It's a fantastic, simple strategy, but for Canadians, it is structurally flawed if you use it the wrong way. Specifically, inside a TFSA. If you go and buy VTSAX or its popular ETF cousin, VTI, inside your TFSA, you get hit with 2 distinct layers of financial friction that just slowly bleed your returns. First, you've got currency conversion. Unless you're using a fancy technique like Norbert's Gambit, your brokerage is probably hitting you with a 1.5% fee to swap your Canadian dollars for US. Then, you'll pay another 1.5% on the way back when you eventually sell. That's a 3% haircut on your money right off the top. Second, and this one's way more sneaky, is the withholding tax. The US government, the IRS, skims 15% off of every single dividend paid out by those US companies before that money even gets close to the border. You won't see it on your statement. It's just gone before it ever hits your account. Now, you might be thinking, come on, 15% of a tiny dividend? That can't be a big deal. Oh, but it is. Let's actually run the numbers. On a $100,000 portfolio that yields a pretty standard 2%, that's $2,000 in dividends a year. The 15% tax means $300 vanishes into the pockets of the IRS every single year. That might not sound like a lot, but when you compound that loss, not just the money that's gone, but all the future growth that money would have generated over a 30-year investing career, you are looking at a $20,000 to $30,000 hole in your retirement. So think about it this way. You are taking 100% of the market risk for only 85% of the dividend reward. That is just bad business. So, how do we fix this? Well, the solution is beautifully simple. You just need the Canadian wrapper. Write this down. If you're watching this from the United States, your ticker symbol is VTI. That is the right tool for your job in your country. But if you are in Canada, your ticker symbol is XEQT or VEQT. This is the direct, correct translation. These are what we call asset allocation ETFs, and they solve all of our problems in one shot. They hold the total US market just like the book tells you to, but, and this is critical, they also hold the Canadian market, international developed markets, and emerging markets, all wrapped up inside one fund. This gives you what's called home bias and global diversification. It actually lowers your overall volatility, which is great because you'll be spending Canadian dollars in retirement, and it gives you much better tax treatment on Canadian dividends. This single ticket handles everything. All the currency conversion, all the rebalancing, it's all done for you. This is the true one-ticket solution. You buy one thing, you hold it forever, and you get the return of the entire global economy. But there is a fatal flaw in this plan. If you rely on your own willpower to log in and buy shares every month, you will fail. You will see a headline about a recession, you will get scared, and you will hesitate. The simple path only works if you remove the human element entirely. If your current bank charges you $9.99 per trade, you are paying a friction tax that destroys your compounding. You cannot dollar cost average effectively if you are paying fees to move your own money. I use WealthSimple for one specific reason. It allows you to automate recurring fractional buys of XEQT. You set it once. Buy $500 on payday. The money leaves your account, the shares are bought instantly, and you never even see the price. That is how you beat the market, by ignoring it. I have linked the fee-free automation setup below. Use the tool that fits the math. Okay, let's talk about safety. The book talks about having FU money and using a bond tent to smooth out your ride into retirement. Well, here in Canada, bonds have been a huge disappointment for the better part of a decade. Given our current market, I much prefer a cash wedge for your safety net. For your FU money, that critical cash you need to walk away from the job you hate, do not let it rot in a standard savings account paying 0.01%. Instead, use a product like Cash.to. These are high-interest deposit ETFs. They trade just like a stock, but they act like a high-yield savings account, pulling everyone's money together to get institutional interest rates from the big banks, but you could never get on your own. This is where you park your cash so it actually grows faster than inflation. And finally, we've reached the end game. Withdrawal. How do you actually turn this pile of assets into an income stream you can live on? The book talks about the famous 4% rule, which suggests taking out 4% of your portfolio every year. But in Canada, we have to be extremely careful, not just with how much we withdraw, but from which account that 4% actually comes from. The reason this is so critical is because of our government benefits, specifically Old Age Security, or OAS. OAS is income tested. This means if your net income in retirement goes above a certain threshold, right now it's about $90,000, the government literally starts taking your OAS money back. This is the dreaded clawback. Now, if you withdraw from your RRSP at age 65, that money is treated as 100% taxable income. If that withdrawal pushes you over the income threshold, you can lose 15 cents of OAS for every single dollar you take out. When you add that on top of your regular income tax, you're effectively paying a marginal tax rate of over 50%. It is a brutal, brutal penalty for poor planning. So, to avoid this trap, you have to spend your money in the correct strategic order. Think of it like a 3-layer pyramid, and you're going to burn it from the bottom up. Priority 1. Burn your non-registered cash and investments first. This creates the least amount of taxable income because you only pay tax on the capital gains, not the money you originally put in. Priority 2. Burn your TFSA. This is your golden goose. Every single dollar you pull out is completely tax-free and creates zero taxable income. This is what keeps you well below that clawback threshold, so you get all your government benefits. And finally, priority 3. Let your RRSP grow tax-deferred for as long as you possibly can. Or you can strategically melt it down in your lower income years, say from age 60 to 65, before OAS and CPP even start. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. We built the complete Canadian blueprint. First, master your debt before you even think about investing. Second, use the right Canadian tool for the job, XEQT or VEQT, to fix that tax leak. Third, take your own worst enemy out of the equation by automating your buys and use a cash wedge to protect your savings. And fourth, plan your withdrawal strategy decades ahead of time by understanding the correct burn order. Non-registered, then TFSA, and finally your RRSP. My entire goal with this channel is to build the most pragmatic, no-nonsense source for finance in Canada. If you appreciate a fiduciary approach, one that respects your intelligence and doesn't try to push you into crypto scams or risky day trading, please consider a simple value exchange. Hit that like and subscribe button. I know it's a small click for you, but it sends a huge signal to the algorithm that we Canadians want real financial education, not just a bunch of hype. Now, there's one final massive trap that we did not have time to cover today. I call it the RRSP time bomb. Most financial advisors, even accountants, will just tell you to dump as much money as you can into your RRSP to get that juicy tax refund today. But what they often forget to calculate is the enormous tax bill you are creating for your future self. I just released a deep dive on this exact RRSP trap. Click and watch this video next to make sure you aren't saving a little bit of money today, only to lose an absolute fortune tomorrow. Just a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Everyone's situation is unique, so please review your own numbers or chat with a qualified professional before making any big decisions. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.